Hello my goblins and ghouls, thank you so much for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris, let's dive into some news. Some of the things we're going to be discussing here today is we have an update from the director of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie talking about how they push the limits of PG-13 and are trying to give us some really crazy kills. We got a minor update on Venom 3 and the Spider-Man world, and since I'm still kind of in a Spider-Man mood, I have to talk about this. Deadpool 3 looking like it is going to end up being delayed, that along with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave me your opinions down below. Really quick, some updates on the channel. Thank you to you guys who put up with me just playing Spider-Man this past weekend. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea to see me gaming, especially when I'm not that great at it.
Stations in the teacher's lounge.
How did I die? But you guys know I love Spider-Man, and it was just a blast sharing that experience with you, and I know not everybody has 15 hours of their life to watch me play the game, so I do plan to post a highlight video of my favorite moments of playing the entire game. But now that I finished Spider-Man, it's back to get to the Spooky Mama season, bring you all the great movie news and spooky videos I have planned for the rest of this month. I gotta make it up to you somehow, so let's just get started now with talking about some news, starting with one of the scariest movies of all time. Paddington. We got a tiny little minor update on Paddington 3. They released a little clip revealing to us the release date for the movie. This third film, titled Paddington in Peru, will now be releasing January 17th, 2025. And I will say this every time we talk about Paddington, we are one movie away from having another film that is a complete perfect trilogy. Those first two Paddington movies, absolutely amazing. This third one is not being directed by Paul King, who did the last two movies, and there's already some dumb behind-the-scenes drama. Some of you guys might have seen that Rachel Zegler was cast early on in the movie, but then thanks to the actor's strike, she had to drop out. And being that this is a UK production, and a lot of the movie is made in the UK, they just replaced her with a UK actress, so they didn't have to bother with the American Hollywood strike. But, you know, that didn't stop conspiracy theories and woke bros online going with,
they fired her because Disney hates her for her comments and is blacklisting her in Hollywood.
The way the internet has decided to attack her just for sharing an opinion, even if you didn't agree, is crazy. But that's what we got going on in the Paddington world. Do you think this third film will complete the perfect trilogy? Something else that I saw pop up that I for sure wanted to talk about with you guys is we got an update on Guillermo del Toro's upcoming Frankenstein movie. Thanks to Netflix here confirming the news, we have it that Mia Goth will be playing the bride of Frankenstein, Oscar Isaac will be playing the monster, and Andrew Garfield will be playing the doctor. If that cast alone does not get you hyped, I don't know what does. I mean, the Frankenstein story is one of the most iconic horror pieces of media out there, and yet I feel like it's one of those stories that hasn't been done right in a long time. But Guillermo del Toro behind it on Netflix, I think has extreme potential, especially with this cast. I mean, he's already kind of proven himself to be able to tackle these iconic horror stories with The Shape of Water. It's largely said that Guillermo del Toro's Shape of Water is just Creature from the Black Lagoon. And I really enjoyed what he did with Shape of Water. His most recent Pinocchio movie I thought was also fantastic. So him tackling Frankenstein with Mia Goth, Andrew Garfield, Oscar Isaac, wow. But I throw it off to you guys. Are you excited for Guillermo del Toro's take on Frankenstein? Something else I'm kind of late on because I was playing Spider-Man 2, but I definitely wanted to discuss is we got a minor update on Fede Alvarez's upcoming Alien movie. If you guys haven't heard by now, yes, we are getting a new Alien film the same way we got a new Predator film in the form of Prey, where this film is not necessarily going to be a sequel to anything that's happened in the past, but more of a self-contained solo alien movie. The basic plot for this one is going to be a group of young people on a distant world find themselves in a confrontation with the most terrifying life form in the universe. And I'm dying to see what Fede Alvarez pulled out because he's made some great horror movies, and I know he can bring the horror back into Alien, which I feel is like what is kind of missing from it. And well, recently Fede Alvarez showed his movie to Ridley Scott, who is notorious for being very honest on whether he likes your take on Alien or not. It's been heavily rumored that Ridley Scott was the reason we never got to see the Neil Blomkamp Alien 5 movie that I thought would have been really cool. And before Fede Alvarez even showed the movie to Ridley Scott, they warned him. They said, Ridley's kinda tough. He's gonna be honest with you. But luckily, after showing him the movie, he responded with, Fed, what can I say? It's effing great. Which I think has to lend some credibility to this movie. I think Hulu/Disney learned their lesson with Prey and how much people love that movie. This movie is set to get a theatrical release when it was just going to go to streaming. In a weird way, Prey and this new Alien film can revive up the franchise. I'm still back and forth on whether I would love it to lead up to a new Versus movie. But I mean, Alien and Predator still going strong to this this day, how are you guys feeling about the new Alien movie and Ridley Scott giving it his approval? And speaking of approval, now that I spent the weekend playing Spider-Man 2, and that game features versions of Venom and Kraven that are two amazing versions of those characters, let me add. I'm really curious to see now how fans will approve of Venom 3 and the new Kraven movie. Don't forget, Kraven was supposed to be released this month if it were not for the Hollywood strike. At least that's what they say, because it's been rumored that Kraven is going to go through some extensive reshoots after the strike, and then it'll be released next year. And I'm just going to tell you, as much as I like Aaron Taylor Johnson, his Kraven is not going to compare to the video game one. And now also with Venom 3, you know, it feels like there's nothing really left to do with the Venom character other than just to make another movie about Venom because Spider-Man fans will pay for it. It felt like you were leading us on and bringing us to this big Spider-Man vs. Venom fight that I don't think is gonna happen now. But all we know before the actor strike and when they were currently filming Venom is that we were gonna follow Tom Hardy in Mexico back in his universe after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. And that's really all we know as far as confirmed details. And now we have the director here giving some small comments about the movie. She says here, I'll get killed if I say anything about Venom 3, but I will say yes, Tom and I had a long collaborative history with each other. We love each other, love working with each other. Both of us are passionate about the Venom franchise. It's just really a joy for us to be able to get to do this third one together. I can't really tease you anything about it other than it's going to be amazing. Tom and I are genuinely just having a blast with each other whenever we get to work together. There's a lot of laughing that happens. So really, it was a whole lot of nothing. They're keeping it very secretive, very under wraps. I want to know the plot of this dang movie. The rumored plots they have out there do not excite me at all, and I think the only thing that could excite me about Venom 3 is some sort of Spider-Man battle, but I don't think that's gonna happen either. I guess the only other thing I'd be curious about with Venom 3 is, you know, how this will connect to the larger world. Are we gonna get a Morbius reference? Are we gonna get a Kraven reference? Does Sony still have some weird plan to put together all their weird solo villain films into one movie and do like a weird Sinister Six? I don't know, but let's see what they pull out. How are you guys feeling about this update in the Sony world in Venom 3? And speaking about some superhero movies, we got an update here on Deadpool 3 that I think no one is going to be shocked by. With the actor strike still going on and them not being able to finish what is left to be filmed for Deadpool 3, it looks very likely like the release date is going to have to change now. It's being said that we're at a point of no return where even if the strike ends like today, whatever they get finished filming, it still won't be enough time for VFX work, marketing, informing the public about it, and then releasing it. Looking like Deadpool 3 will have to lose that release date, and now it's being heavily rumored that Captain America 4, with Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, will end up taking its spot. And that's a movie I'm so curious about, because I'm always someone that's rooted for Sam Wilson's Captain America, and I want to see how they pull off a movie where, you know, Chris Evans isn't Captain America, and how that will connect to the larger MCU, and if they can make that believable, or even if audiences will respond to it. So although it looks like we're losing out on Deadpool 3 early next year, we're gonna get Captain America 4 slightly earlier. How would you feel about that? Bringing us now to talk about some Five Nights at Freddy's. Man, we are inching closer to this movie, and in fact, I see it in 2 days. 2 days! Those fastballs are gonna be in my face. I was, of course, speaking about the playpen fastballs, you nasty, dirty freak. And with the movie slowly coming to a release, I feel like they've done a great job of like showing us enough things that excite us while also at the same time holding back a lot of footage. At least that's what I'm hoping for when it comes to like Spring Bonnie. I hope we get more than like 5 minutes of him. I need like 10-15 minutes of Spring Bonnie. And the other thing I'm looking forward to is how they handle the kills in this movie. And well, director Emma Tammy brings up how PG-13 made it so they can get creative with the kills. She said here, we were trying to push it as far as we could while still retaining that PG-13 rating. That meant the kills needed to be executed in a certain way. And while it is so fun in many slasher films to see all the guts and the gore, it is also really fun to figure out the creative ways to show these moments without showing all the details. In some cases, we leaned into the shadows and silhouettes and sound design to really feel the moment in an impactful way without showing any gore. So that is something that I had a lot lot of fun doing, and actually really appreciated that we were taking the PG-13 approach for this, because they're such a young audience for FNAF, and we didn't want to exclude them. And there you go, admitting from the very beginning they knew the movie was going to be PG-13. They shot the movie in hopes of it being PG-13, so I feel like this 100% has to debunk any of those people's theories that thought there's an R-rated cut of this movie laying somewhere out there to be released later on. It's not going to be possible when they say here they purposely filmed the movies with shadows, silhouettes, sound design. There's no R-rated footage to be shown. But that's perfectly fine. If they can get creative with these kills and make them work and still have that horrifying feel, and you can show this to a younger audience, that's a win-win, baby. Some of you guys might have already seen some of the footage of the influencers who got to go to the set of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and just seeing those people in the suits acting like robots with the animatronic heads blinking, moving, eyes twitching. Wow, that looks amazing. I have nothing but appreciation for the behind-the-scenes work of this movie, so I think it's going to be a real blast, and it's just nice to know they had that creative thought with the PG-13 kill. Only other update with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is that we did get revealed the soundtrack of the film, but I don't actually want to go ahead and dive into it because it goes beat by beat what will be happening in the movie, and you know, there's some spoilery things in there. If you really want to know about the soundtrack, I think I'm going to be talking about it on my Clips channel, so you can be subscribed to that. But this is our update that we have with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Let me know your guys' opinion on all of them. But that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of my day to watch me talk some movie news. And speaking of the Clips channel, that's also where I'll be posting my review for Spider-Man 2, and I'll also be posting a prediction video for what I think they'll be doing for the next Spider-Man game. Much love to all you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Spook your mama, baby.